Hi there. In this video, we are going to review the SQL murder mystery game brought to us by mystery.nightlabs.com. The link's in the description if you have never checked out this website. It's a great tool for SQL newbies, people who are just trying to learn SQL for the first time, like myself. This video is going to outline the 9 queries that I use to solve everything in this game. I'm going to talk through the logic that I used and the queries that I wrote for it. If you're new to SQL or if you're just trying to figure this out, then I hope this video helps you in a concise manner. Let's start with the details of the game's starting. We have a murder that takes place on January 15th in 2018 at SQL City. So we are going to start with a query that is going to give us the police report for murders that night. We are going to look for everything on the crime scene report for the date in question in SQL City that is a murder. You can see these are our filters, and this is where we're querying from, is the crime scene report. Awesome. We are going to get some information that tells us that we have 2 witnesses. One of them lives on Northwestern Drive as the last house, and one of them lives on Franklin Avenue and is named Annabelle. So we need to get our list of witnesses so that we can figure out what our witnesses have to share with us as evidence to figure out the murder solution. So we're going to start by looking up individuals from the person table. If you click here, you'll get the schema of the entire database set. So we need to know the person's name and their address number and their street number. We're looking for person with names like Annabelle who live on streets like Franklin Avenue. We're going to search. We're going to find Annabelle Miller, which is great. And we're going to see where her address is Franklin Avenue. And there's her ID number and social security number. There's witness number 1. Witness number 2 lives on Northwestern Drive, if you remember. So we still need to search from the person database. We need to look for address street name Northwestern Drive. We are going to order by address number. We want it to be a descending order, and we want the limit. So this 3 lines here is what gives us the last person on Northwestern Drive. So we're going to hit run, and we get Morty Shapiro as our second witness. And it gives us his ID, which we'll need. I recommend if you're doing this for the first time or if you're following along, you can pause and look at my queries, or you can just follow along. I do recommend copying and pasting the information to like a Word document because you're going to need things to build your queries like these headers or specific information. So we have our witnesses. Now we need to figure out what they saw. We're going to figure that out or find that on the interview table. But you can see that they only have person ID. They don't have names. So we're going to have to build a join on the person table. This is query number 4, where we're first time we're going to do a join, which is a nice, cool function. So we're going to select the person ID, the transcript, and the name. In fact, we can actually get rid of the person ID if we want, just the transcript and the name. We want it from the interview table. We want to join on the person table, and we want to look up our 2 IDs, which you can see these match both Morty's up here and Annabelle's down here. We're going to hit run, and there's our transcripts. So we've found our witnesses, and now we have information that our witnesses are giving us. And when you're doing something like this or you're categorizing information, I found that it's a little valuable to identify objective pieces of information that connect back to other databases. So he heard the gunshot. He sees someone with a get fit bag. Okay, we have a membership number on the bag, which starts with 48Z. So that's a piece of objective information. The membership number has these digits in it. They are a gold member, and they got into a car with the license plate H42W. That's awesome. Those are 3 very good points of information. We also happen to know that this killer was at the gym on January 9th at the same time Annabelle Miller was. So these are 2 different ways we can go. We can look at who was there on the 9th, and we can look at who has a membership with this and a license plate with this. Both good ways to approach this. I think we're going to need to investigate both before we just start accusing anybody who is a gold member with that in their name, especially because certain databases, like 100 people could have 48Z in their membership ID. So let's start with Annabelle's. Let's figure out who was there on the 9th, and then we can narrow it down that way. We are going to build a query. Select. It looks like this. It's going to include information like the name, person ID, their status, which is that gold status that we want to know. We also are going to need to know their membership ID, check-in date, check-in in and check-in out time. We're going to filter on individuals who have a gold member, whose membership includes 48Z, and we also want to see anybody who's named Annabelle Miller who was there on the same date. This line right here allows us to compare the list of whoever meets the other criteria with Annabelle Miller. So hit refresh, and there we go. We have Joe, Jeremy, Annabelle. They're all gold status. Joe and Jeremy both have a membership that has 48Z. So we can't be certain it's Joe or Jeremy. It could be either one. And they were both there at the same time. Annabelle was, when we look at the check-in time. She was there at 1600. He was already there. He showed up at the same time. They both overlapped quite a bit. This is one piece of information. We need some supporting evidence that either puts Joe or Jeremy in for this murder. So let's go back to Morty's statement. It's a male. They had a driver's license with a license plate that had H42W in it. So these are the people who are here with Annabelle. Now these are the people right here. This query will tell us based on driver's license information who has a plate number with 42W in it. So Joe, Jeremy. Let's run it, and we see a different set of names. We see Tushar, and we see Jeremy again. So based on the fact that Jeremy has the membership, has the gold status, was there at the same time Annabelle was, and has a license plate number that matches, he is our killer. And we'll copy and paste that in, and run, and congratulations. We figured that out in 6 queries using very basic functions like joins and a few filters. This is awesome, except for Jeremy says he's not the murderer. Well, he is the murderer, but he was set up. Someone paid him to do the murder, which still makes him a murderer. So if we want to continue on, we need to figure out who actually paid him to do these crimes. So we need to, it says here, look at the transcripts of the murder to find the real villain behind this crime. So we need to go look at transcripts again. And then we have 2 queries to figure out who actually set up this murder. So back to square one. Let's go to transcripts. And we need to see if Jeremy Bowers ever submitted an interview, which looks like he did. He was hired by a woman. That's a piece of objective information. With a lot of money. That's a subjective piece of information. I don't think we can really clarify. If he'd said $1 million maybe, but we have no way to actually determine what a lot of money is. I don't know her name, but I know she's around 5'5" to 5'7", so we have a height, which is good. She has red hair. She drives a Tesla Model S. I know that she attended the SQL Symphony concert 3 times in December 2017. So, well, first things first, if there's only one person out there with red hair who drives a Tesla Model S between those heights, then we got our gal. That's a great description. Let's start there. So let's see if we can figure out if any woman, oh, we have a list of them. So we have 3 women. They all have red hair. They're all female. We don't have a plate number from Jeremy, so no help there. Their height, 65, 66. So all of them meet that height range. That's a bummer. And they all drive the same car. So we have some information. Now we could go off of the income statements and we could see if maybe one of these individuals is much richer than the rest of them. But again, income is subjective here. He hasn't given us a clear objective statement. What he has told us is that this individual would be at the event, the symphony, 3 times in 2017, which is a little bit more objective. So we're going to query events. But I'm sure you could do one more query with income and maybe there would be some blaring income inconsistencies and you'd be able to figure it out. But we are going to take the Facebook event check-in process. So again, you can pause if you need to read this query. Oh, it looks like my copy and paste went a little weird. 1 second. Oops. Now we'll just fix it here. Where PID equals F person. There we go. So we are selecting for ID, event name, date and name. We're looking from the Facebook event check-ins. We're looking to join P for person so we can filter on names. We are joining on PID versus F person ID, which is where they link. We are searching for the dates between December 1st, 2017 and December 31st, 2017. We're only interested in events like SQL Symphony concerts, and we're only interested in one of our 3 suspects. So Red, Regina, or Miranda. We'll hit run, and we can see that Miranda Priestley is the only individual that shows up. So the other 2 in that month, or either never saw anything in that month or never went to the symphony in that month. We will put Miranda, and we are selecting her based off of the interview given to us by Jeremy. We will take Jeremy out of here and put in Miranda. We'll hit run, and there we go. We figured out the brains behind everyone. The SQL City hails you as the greatest SQL detective of all time. Thanks. That is a very short summary of the 9 queries that you need to solve the entirety of the SQL murder mystery game. If I went too fast for you, feel free to go back and pause in any of the queries and look at what I used or why I used, or feel free to comment down below, say, hey, why did you use this in your query or not? I found this exercise extremely enjoyable. It actually makes me want to do a lot more SQL training, and I really want to understand the schemas and how SQL databases are built and joined together. So if this is your first sojourn into SQL, like myself, I hope you enjoy as much as I did, and maybe it kickstarts a love or interest into SQL querying. If not, then it was just a fun game, and I hope you enjoyed it anyways. Have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.